Sup, Nils? We're back for part 2 with Big D. Well, going over more goddamn questions. There were so many. I think we answered a total of 3. So we're gonna have to go a little bit more fast paced. Big D's like, this sucks. I want to get more answered. So we're gonna rapid fire it. Well, we'll try to anyways. Misothea666. Hey Don, any splits that you regret releasing, or any splits that didn't come out the way you hoped? Definitely those, right?
No splits that I regret putting out.
Not the way you liked. You fucked me.
There's quite a few that if they're not splits, they're just regular 7 inches that didn't come out the way that my vision. The maggot 7 inch, the covers didn't turn out the way I wanted it. The black 7 inch. I don't know where our wires got crossed, but something got fucked up with that. That kind of looks like shit. Um, but yeah, none that I regret putting out. I like them all. They're all my little children.
There's nobody that you're like, fuck, why did we do a split with that band?
No, I mean it's just music. It's just art. I mean, people can take it how they like, but yeah, I mean it's just a piece of art. If you don't like it, don't listen to it.
That's what I see too. Yeah, exactly. Grind Crusher? Question marks for Don. Those Devil Conjurings compilations are just phenomenal. They all look fantastic. How many more can we expect in the future?
I got 8 planned and laid out pretty much, and then maybe by the time the 8th one is out, there'll be a 9th one. And yeah, all the art will be from Lucas Ruggieri. I bought all the artwork 10 years ago.
Oh, you have all they're all done already?
They're all
I mean,
done.
it is the same guy, but I didn't realize they're all already done.
Yeah, I bought 9 pieces of art from him at one time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
yeah, I didn't realize that.
yeah, they all look great. But yeah, 8 so far, probably 9.
What are we on, number 4?
5th is supposed to be a press.
Easy needs to pick up the pace, huh?
You're telling me?
I'm aware of the situation. Andrew Gabriel. Don, is there a split you would like to do with the band next? Oh, I got my favorite next one. That I'd love to see that. I told him about it, but I'm sure he forgot.
There's 3 that come to mind. Deceased.
Oh, that would be really good. Yeah.
Immolation and Incantation.
Oh shit, those are even better than mine.
Would be 3 bands that I would really like to do splits with. But yeah,
all those.
I think
Immolation would be the hardest because I don't know if they have contract agreements with. Who are they on? What label are they on now? Immolation.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
But a bigger label. I think they might have the hardest time. Deceased would be the easiest.
Yeah.
Incan, I think John tells them to go fuck themselves. He kind of just walks his own path. Immolation, I could see them like, yeah, I'm up for it, bro, but Central Media says we can't.
Right. Yeah.
But I think that's because I'm saying I don't think that's outlandish. If somebody's like, yeah, I want to do a split with Kanye would say that. We're gonna ask King Diamond if he'll do a split with Spawn and Satan. I'm like, dude, there's no chance in hell that's ever happened.
Well, it took us over 20 years of asking blood, and eventually meeting the guys, running into them, and then by that time Jim had already passed, and I brought it up to him again. This is probably 4 years ago or something like that. They says, we're going in to record an album, and we'll just we'll save a couple of tracks for a split, and that's how that blood.
Did you ever ask McAtee then?
I have asked him. I haven't gotten a solid no.
You got the Chief Wiggum answer. Chief Wiggum answer from Simpsons, dude. It's literally like Milhouse is lost, right? The character Milhouse, and his dad's trying to get him found. He's with the cops. Chief Wiggum. Chief Wiggum sends out this pack of dogs, this wild rabid dogs. They never fail. He's like, yeah, but if they find them, are they gonna find them and kill them, or are they just gonna find them and bring them back? Wow, find them. Like, you didn't really answer me. You just kind of trailed off. It's like, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's no answer. Well, I mean, when that Incantation
Dude, I get the Chief Wiggum answers all the fucking time.
When that Incantation blood came out, I was like, oh shit, because usually Incantation doesn't do splits at all, and
yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, and so I messaged John. I says, hey, you got any extra songs laying around? You want to do a split?
Bands too, like a band like Incantation or any of them, even Cannibal Corpse, and for them to do another release like a 2 or 7 or something. Here's an idea. Well, we don't have an extra songs. Here's an idea, bozos. You're going to the studio, whatever your next album is. It's gonna be 10 songs, right? Record 12. problem fucking solved. Like,
But
what's the
it's-
problem?
because it's just easier to just keep pushing it off on somebody else. Oh, our contract or whatever. But I'm not saying
I'm just saying.
in
I
particular.
just solved everybody's
I mean,
problem.
yeah.
Oh, but mine that I think you should do, the kiddos would love it, including me. I think the best new band in town, and I told you about it, of course, grandpa memory over here forgot, is Nunslaughter Pharmacist.
Well, we did fluids. You told me to
Pharmacist,
do fluids, and we
Fluids is
did.
the only band that replied. And I'm saying Pharmacist. He's like, I need splits. I come up with ideas. He's
No,
like, that's too many now.
No, we had 2 songs sitting there for it was
Okay.
supposed to be a split with another band that dropped out, and then I just said, who else do you think we should do a split with? You mentioned fluids and contacted them and put it out.
Same Pharmacist with and they do splits. Octavian. Hey Don, what's your all-time favorite traditional heavy metal record?
Oh boy, just off the top of my head, I'd have to say like "Sad Wings of Destiny," Judas Priest.
That's the best heavy metal record of all time.
I mean, there's.
But do you could, but that, see, I think that's a weird answer from you because I thought do you consider Black Sabbath heavy metal?
Well,
I mean,
they're the progenitors. I mean, I was going off more of like a new wave British heavy metal.
Okay, and that's also say, do you consider "Don't Break the Oath" a heavy metal record, or what do you consider that?
I don't know if that's. I think it is a heavy metal.
That's
record.
what I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, then you get Athnar. I'm sick of all these rules. It's like back in the day, it was just fucking aggressive
right.
metal.
I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, I listened to all the same. It all kind of blended together. Anything that wasn't sold at the fucking record Rama store, whatever, was pretty much death metal. Other than the real high vocals, the power metal.
I think it's a pretty good question. You can kind of pass on it or go easy on it because you might not want to piss off any of the pink panties that are watching. From Ryan at Zerta 2, what's your opinion on the whole Swedish death metal style blowing up? Been going on the past 5-7 years. past 35 years, you mean? Many young bands seem to mimic that style now. Hearing a lot of recycled riffs, seeing cloned album artwork, band logo artwork, etc., etc. The same can be said with black metal cheers and things. So basically, the question, in my opinion, is what do you think of the Swedish death metal scene being recycled 1,000,010 times?
Well, I mean, if he thinks it's bad now, it was really bad in the '90s, especially like early '90s. I mean, it was recorded Sunlight Studios, get Dan Seagrave to do an album art, go on tour, break up, get back together with the other guys from the other band that sounded just like your band. It was a fucking nightmare in the '90s.
So, because you barely like Left Hand Path, then, right?
No. I think that's one of the quintessential.
So that's great, and
Swedish.
everyone else just get lost, basically, in your opinion.
I don't know about everybody else get lost, but
it was definitely like.
I mean,
if
you got it, I mean,
yeah,
I mean, if you got Coca-Cola in the fridge, why would you put RC cola in there? It's fucking stupid. It's a second, it's cola. It's good, but I got fucking Coca-Cola right here.
We'll be buying Royal Crown. that Kroger off-brand bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, Fago, fuck that. I mean, I got Coca-Cola.
Makes sense.
So, but that's how I look at it. So, I mean,
you
and even like not to diminish Grave. I mean, another great band, but I mean, when there's 75 fucking bands that sound like Grave or Entombed, and you're just like,
well, where I start to agree with you slightly on the span like Grave too. Where I kind of disagree. Their first album, it was a little bit more U.S. death metal, 90s US with the Swedish sound, but still they were going for that. But where I agree with you is like, why did you need to go the Swedish route at all? Because you listen to their demos, it's like you had your own unique character.
Right, yeah.
It's like, so why the fuck did you? Oh, we heard a tune, so let's try to sound like this now. It's like,
well,
you already had something awesome going.
I think there's some things that happen, like there's not a lot of studios where in Sweden, I'm guessing at the time. So Sunlight, kind of like with what's his face down in Florida there.
What's his face?
They think like, well, that band sold well and we like that sound, so we're going to go to that studio, and then they just leave all the knobs set and just change the title of the band. Oh, it's this band now, but never don't turn any of the knobs, and amp is still sitting there. It's all it's ready to go, and so it just sounds the same. And then
but to their defense, and it's like, we're talking about Morrison. What's that guy's name? I can't think of his name. What's his name? What is his name?
I don't listen to anything from.
But
I think I listen to one record from Warzone.
I think what I've heard. Yeah, I'm looking like the biggest fucking idiot. I don't know. I got the even create an interview with the guy, and hearing interviews from him and talking about Sunlight Studio. Though what I've concluded from all the BS being thrown out there is like, look, this was the guys recording themselves were like, look, I'm unfamiliar with this music, barely even listen to metal themselves. This is
Scott
I've never,
Burns.
yes, Burns. I've never heard this music. There's these blasting drums, etc. In a sense, he's like, we're just trying to figure it out. He's like, we didn't have anything to go off of. It's not like you could look at like, well, what was Venom doing? He's like, well, Venom didn't sound like this. So in a sense, I think because he was saying in interviews like there's things he didn't like about albums that he worked on too. He's like, but I'm trying to learn.
Yeah,
It's like, I didn't know.
I saw that interview. Yeah, it was a really good interview.
So I kind of get it from that standpoint. It's like his new style of music kind of coming out. I've never worked with it, never even heard. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Yes and no. The only thing is, there's no excuse because there were other bands that were recording at other studios all around the United States and the world that didn't have the same freaking sound, and you know.
He sold a lot of records though, so he must have done something right.
Well,
Somebody liked him,
I
right?
mean, he scratched an itch. Yeah.
Yeah. Yinzer Chuck. There probably aren't many, but all the bands that you would have liked to have seen live, but for whatever reason didn't, which one would you want to see the most? Question mark.
Probably like probably punk bands.
What about you? Never seen Hellhammer, right? Hellhammer.
Well, I saw that Triumph of Death.
Wow, dude, that don't fucking count.
I mean, that sounded really good.
Well, you telling me that qualifies as goddamn satanic rights era? They're playing live.
No, I don't know how much they were playing live.
Yeah.
Back then, if at all. I mean.
Yeah. Did they do any shows during that time? I mean, they had to have done something, right?
I mean, not that I know of, not that I have any proof or audio of that they did anything live. And then,
did you ever see Celtic Frost? And if so, when?
Yeah, we played with them in Norway.
But years and years. But you never seen them in the '80s. Yeah, I guess that's right. Have you ever seen Frost in the '80s? Did they ever do a U.S. tour or anything? They did that World War III in Canada.
Yeah, I think
that was
they
85.
played. I think they played L'Amours in '85 or '86.
What would be the reason you didn't want to go?
I wasn't into that kind of music.
You weren't into Frost by then?
Not what they were putting out.
Wait a minute, I thought you said you like Morbid Tales.
I like Morbid Tales, yeah.
Morbid Tales like 84, 85?
Dude, what was I, 16? I'm going to go to fucking Montreal?
Well, no.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah,
you know? My paper didn't pay that well. So.
Well, they didn't. So yeah, they didn't do anything in the U.S. then. You know, they came just for Canada, and that was it.
No, I think
maybe New York.
I think they did L'Amours, yeah. But you know, it's not like it was. You find out about it like 8 months after it happened.
Oh.
Like, I heard that they played. Like, no, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
it's not like today, huh? Just fucking. Yeah. So who's the best? Yeah, you said
because he kept started talking again. That's why, dude. We might have to do 3 or 4 episodes here. What the fuck? Mostly, probably earlier punk bands like a 7 Seconds or Dead Kennedys. I mean, I've seen.
So wait, you've never seen Dead Kennedys?
No.
See, some of the bands like I thought you would have seen. So these are shit I don't even know. I didn't even know these things. I never asked you.
Yeah, no, I never saw.
Oh, I thought for sure you would have seen them at least once.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Didn't come around. I'd love to see Minor Threat too. But
any more Satanic Threat? That's a one and done, right?
One and done.
You're proud of that project, right?
Very proud of that project. Yeah. It turned out that's pretty much Jim's idea.
Who came with the title "Guilty of Hating Christ"?
That was me.
That was pretty fucking funny. Goatman, do ask Don for me what it was like touring in Japan. Also, what's his favorite Nunslaughter split?
Touring in Japan was great. I mean, unfortunately, we only did 4 shows, but yeah, it was great. The clubs were small but very very efficient. You know, if you wanted a Marshall head or a PV head or a different cabinet, they'd go and get it for you because everything there is you don't have big vans to drive a bunch of equipment around. So all the clubs have a bunch of different equipment that you can use. Yeah, it was fantastic in Japan. I'd love to go back. You know, we just got to organize something there in Asia. Boy, one of my favorite splits. Very proud of the Nunsutter Blood. Like I said, that took 20 years to come to fruition. Um, and then, boy, I don't know.
Nunsutter Gothicles too probably be up there, right?
Yeah, that
So it
was
took
another
years
one.
to come up. You know.
That was another one. I asked Jan a bunch of
Is there?
times through.
Am I forgetting? Do you have a Nuns? Is there a Nunsutter Sabat split 7-inch? I don't think there is.
Yes, there
Sabat
is.
Japan?
Yeah,
Which one's that?
it's
What's
in a
on there?
box set. Uh,
No, that's not.
no,
That was just
it's
live.
called like it's a heavy metal superstars. I think there's only like
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
115
Where you got to
copies or something.
disassemble and de-virginize the girl to listen to and all this other shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the. It came as a box set, and then there was maybe like a dozen
I
records.
think is that the
he
record where the first recording, "Fuck the Bastard," the rehearsal. Is it that the one?
No, that's on a.
That's
That's
another
on
Heavy
a.
Metal Superstars though. I'm almost positive it is. At least that's
Is
the
it?
first version I heard. Was
I
that?
thought we put it out on a CD.
Well, you put it out like 20 times at this point.
Yeah, but Jim didn't like it because there's a middle part that I think he said it sounded like Metallica or something. It's probably like a ripped off Metallica riff.
He didn't like the song "Fuck the Bastard."
Not the original version, but by the time we actually went into the studio to record it,
Oh, that's one of the hits.
it got changed.
Yeah, that's one of the definitely.
And it's just like it's a note or two of a riff. He just wanted.
Did he not like it though because he didn't write it?
No, he didn't like it because he said it sounded. I think it was Metallica or Exodus or something. He was just like, it sounds too. It's the same riff, so the next time we recorded it, we changed a couple of notes so it didn't sound the same.
So in Japan, who was the dude with the super hot shower? What was up with that? They just have hot showers over there?
Super hot shower.
You don't know that? Everybody told that story 100 times.
Uh-uh.
So you guys stayed with Naru, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it must have been him, but so he's showing you the house and stuff like that, and he's explaining. Craig's telling me a story. And all this, he's like, "Yes, there's the living space and this, and here's the bathroom, and just so you know, it has one setting. You know, it's pretty warm, pretty warm. It's all heading in there. They're all there. And Craig goes in there. Holy fuck, this is hot. And I guess you did too. Hot as well. And then when Jim goes in there, he just peeks his out. He's all naked. This shower get any cooler?
I do remember that.
And he's like, dude, he told us. But Craig, it wasn't just He's like, dude, it was like, holy fuck. He's like,
I do remember that. Yeah.
Well, why would he have one setting, scalding hot?
I don't know.
But that had to have been Naru's, right? Because is that where you
yeah.
stayed? Did you stay with any other people or just him?
No, just him, and then we stayed at hotels. But we were only there for like 6 days.
Yeah. So. And the T-shirts, what was it, Naru? She's small, medium, XL. Don't have no XL. Jim Big. Because they're all little over there?
Yeah.
I think it was crazy. So, yeah, Jim walking, he looked like a giant.
Yeah,
I think that's what, because I saw the photos too, was the Malaysia one.
When we were in Malaysia.
It just looks like he looks
He's
like a giant.
huge white guy, and his grandma
sticks out like a sore fucking thumb.
You know, they're just smaller people, so
yeah.
Like grandmothers are trying to take a picture with his. Same with Joe Rath. We went to Brazil, and you know, he's just this huge white, like glowing white, guy, and say, hey, look at that big white guy, and you take pictures with him.
It's like Find Waldo, but the exact opposite.
There he is.
Yeah, right. Hammer Chan Shutter. Hey J-Dog. What the fuck's J? Yeah. What is Don's history with the band Derkata? I remember seeing him make a quick cameo in one of their podcast interviews. Oh, did you? I didn't even know that. Be pretty cool to know his thoughts on the band and stuff. Thanks. I mean, I just know you're friends with them, but you can add to that.
Yeah. So McEntee got a bunch of old school people. There was a real connection between New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, and basically Pittsburgh. And those guys would always come out, and we had a really strong scene in Pittsburgh. So anyway, that's the podcast he's talking about. There was Henry from Revenant, and Bob and Ross from Immolation, John from Incantation, Mark from Rotrevor, Sharon from Decatur, myself, and so I go way back with Sharon. We met. I met her even before she was doing Derkata.
You're like teenagers, right?
Yeah, probably 14 or maybe 15, something like that. And
was she already into metal at that age?
Yeah, I mean, she was same as me, same as everybody else that
Just treat
was
us
our
pretty
age.
shit like that.
We were just finding out about the underground,
Hmm.
and I'm not sure how she got involved, but um, a mutual friend of ours is Ted Williams from Dream Death would always have parties after the shows, and you know he was probably 21, 22 at the time, and uh, you know let us drink beer and get fucked up at his house. So we'd go over there and just hang
And
out.
did he know more music than you since he was older?
Um,
I assume he's just playing tune skis at the party.
no, no, he was. Oh yeah, all kinds. I mean, he's a couple years older,
So at
and
this point, like that guy, would he have known? Was he listening to like Death, Possessed, shit like that, or was that even he didn't know about it yet?
well, so he was more along the lines of the traditional rock, heavy metal,
Okay.
and doom stuff.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm guessing he uh, knew of. Well, everybody knew of Death and Possessed, but I don't know if he was. I don't recall ever spinning it. You know, it was more like you go over there and there's listening to Tyrant or something like that. Rather than Seven Churches.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I go way back with Sharon. We're still really good friends.
You talk to her pretty regularly still, don't you?
Yeah, probably a couple times a month.
That's more than I talk to my mom.
Yeah.
I kind of already answered this, but I guess it's theoretical. Don, if you could do a split with any band in history, who would it be? Also, who the fuck else would you put in the devil metal genre? And big beers for big I guess big cheers for finally coming to Tampa. So he was one of the guys at the Tampa shows, I guess.
Cool. Um, Boy, I tell you, I think I think it would be. I would like to see Nunslaughter Venom
I was gonna say, I figured
split.
you were gonna say, yeah.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Um, and then
You could kind of call Venom devil metal in the sense if you had to coin somebody else, put them in there.
yeah,
Right?
but I mean they are more heavy metal, new
Yeah.
wave British heavy metal. I don't know. I think people are missing out, and I've said this before. Nunslaughter is in a kind of a gray area because we're we're a lot of times too metal for punk and too punk for metalists. So, you know, a lot of metalheads they want to hear two guitar solos, 4 or 5 minute long songs, all this fucking other shit behind the music, all this production and shit, and it's like it's supposed to be more in your face, and that's the punk rock side coming out. Our songs are typically 2 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
They're out of 300 plus songs. We have never played a guitar solo, and and hopefully never will. I mean,
Yeah.
if I have anything to say about it, I mean when we do covers like we did like
Hellchild.
Hellchild, and we did a master cover and stuff. So there are we when we do the cover songs we do a solo, but if it's an Unstar song, there's no guitar solos in it, and you know so I don't really know of any other bands that don't put guitar solo.
Mortician has no guitar solos.
No guitar solos.
If it is, correct me if I'm wrong, Devils, but I don't. No, I can't. No, I can't. It would just sound weird too. I was like, I can't even think of. Oh yeah, no, I don't think so.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would sound weird as fuck. Now I'm thinking about
but I don't think we sound like Mortician.
No, but that's why. As much as people bang up on them, they love them now. That's why I always really loved them too. Is because there's the drum machine. I was like, but they don't sound like anybody. Like Craig would rip on them all the time. Man, this band blows. I was like, yeah, but you know what's hilarious, dude? You've heard them. And anytime I'm playing them, I don't even need to tell him who we listen to. He walks in, oh, we got the Tish on.
Yeah.
I was like, you can't do that for another death metal band that you don't know. I was like, you want to do that for Gorefest. You want to do that for, just random death metal bands, Sinister, Asphyx, like bands that people recognize. Yeah. I was like, you could sure as fuck do that for them. I was like, and that in itself is kind of neat because
they set themselves
apart from everybody else. So I thought that alone was cool. I was like, they're easily identifiable.
Mm-hmm.
So, and honestly, so is Nunslaughter. Because they don't sound like anybody.
I don't think we do.
Nunslaughter doesn't. Fucking dude,
conclusions.
Macabre doesn't sound like anybody. No, there's certain bands that to this day you're like, holy fuck, nobody still sounds like them. Yeah. Like they just don't.
Yeah. So good. I'm glad.
I know. There's not too many bands that have that. There's not very many at all.
Yeah.
You know, there's a few others I'm forgetting, but not a whole lot. Uh-oh, talking about keyboards over here. God damn it! Let's see what the.
Oh shit!
Uh-oh. Is that got that unlistenable guy thrown in there? Archangel of Coffee.
Pestilence.
Hey Don, I know your stance on keyboards. Your stance on keyboards and death metal, but do you like the Nocturnus demos? They're a bit more raw and aggressive. Plus, can't go wrong with some good old Mike Browning, folks, with some sloppy and out of time drumming in a good way. That is.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, Nocturnus is one of the few bands that I don't find it distracting. Uh, but and I actually I years ago approached Mike about putting out the Nocturnus demos, and then just through some couple of emails, and he sent me the master CDR and everything. But then I don't know, some other label put it out. But yeah, so I definitely a fan of Nocturnus and those keyboards. But yeah, for the most part,
Keyboards take a hike.
I just find them distracting. Just like I focus way too much on it because I'm like, why would you put it? I mean,
But you like other stuff. I mean, you like fucking Merciful Fate, and you like Black Sabbath. Like Black Sabbath has keyboards on Sabbath Bloody Sabbath and shit.
yeah, I'm not. It's not that I'm not a fan of keyboards. I'm not a fan of keyboards in death metal or most death metal.
Yeah, because I mean, someone could just say, "Well, if it fits, it fits." Like, why not try something new? Why is everything got to be the same old, same old? That's what the argument would be.
Yeah, but I mean,
Like, yeah, if it sounds like shit, it sounds like shit. But like some of these bands pull it off. That's what
I
the
don't know. But
argument.
I mean, you could have one maybe with the greatest death metal band in the world, but you got a fucking fleet of clarinets and flutes behind you. You're gonna be like, what the fuck is that going on? I mean, it doesn't matter how good it. Like you just have this, you know.
Yeah.
It's like
But I think, like for example, yeah, like I think most people would agree. If Cannibal Corpse puts out a new album, there's keyboards on there. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
right.
But if it's a brand new band and that's what they start off doing, it's like, well, that's just part of their niche.
Yeah, but I don't have to like that. Niche.
No, well, I know.
I mean,
but I'm just saying.
it's like you order a big steak dinner, beautiful looking steak, and somebody puts a turd on it. I mean, you're just like, why would you do that? You're like, oh, well, that's how they come here. You're like, well, I'm leaving.
Well, I'm leaving. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go eat steak without a turd on it.
Yeah. Human Brisket. Any new bands Don likes or thinks is carrying the metal spirit? Coolest Nunslaughter bootleg he has seen, shirt, record, tape, etc. Countries. God damn, man's got like the 20. I guess he'll hold it off there. He's not gonna remember. He's gonna forget the first question by the time he gets the last.
Actually, the Nunslaughter boot that I liked the most was the first one, Ritual of Darkness, 7-inch, came out on a label from I think it was South America or it was Brazil. I think they only did 3 releases on that label. First was Mayhem. Second was Nunslaughter.
Yeah, the Ritual Darkness and 7-inch, right?
Yeah,
that was the first Nunslaughter boot ever, right?
First Nunslaughter boot. Yeah, and
okay.
It was really cool. I was super.
So you had no idea that you oh shit.
No, I bought my copy from Repulse Records or in Spain.
Yeah.
I was back like it was all paper, so I got the list and I'm looking. I'm like, Nunslaughter. I don't have a record out. So I ordered it. I ordered it from Dave. Dave was really cool about it too because I wrote him. I sent him the money for the record, and I says, oh, this is my band. I didn't even know this came out, and he sent me 2 copies.
Oh, wow.
So I thought that was really cool. But,
yeah.
That was in 92, 3, something like that. Maybe.
So his main question though, the first one's what's a metal band a newer metal band today that you like that you think is holding a true metal spirit?
Actually, this band I'm wearing right here.
Where are they from?
Black Knife. I think Kentucky. I think.
Did you guys do a split with them?
No, we haven't done. We've talked to. I talked to Josh about doing a split, or rather, he talked to me. We just didn't have any. We don't have any music at the time, but yeah, I think it's a very interesting. It's a mix of punk rock and aggressive metal or death metal. But yeah, we played I think either 1 or 2 shows with them, and yeah, this would be a band that I think people should check out.
You did this split. Yeah. We did the 7-inch picture disc, right?
Yeah.
And then I forget who did the actual regular 7-inch. Kavmar. In some old interviews, Don said that Nunslaughter was Jim and him. If Don wrote most of the lyrics, does Sadis done all music, guitars, drums, which was later recorded with session members, or was it a contribution of a full lineup from record to record? Well, I sincerely highly doubt that fucking blue-haired knob on fucking Hell's and Holy Fire had anything to do with the writing.
Well, so a lot of people don't realize Jim wasn't in the band from the very beginning.
It's funny,
so,
I didn't know that for a long. I mean, I've known that for 20 years now,
Yeah.
but at the beginning, I didn't know that either. I thought he was always in it.
Right. Yeah.
95 is when he joined, right?
95, yeah, on the Face of Evil demo. And so all of the songs, including Face of Evil, Jim had nothing to do with writing any of the lyrics or the music. But when we decided to do Hell's and Holy Fire, we drew most of the songs from the first couple of demos, and same with Goat. Most of those, I think, most of the songs are from demos, and so Jim was most proficient on the 7 inches because that was the stuff that it was real current. But the album, those at least the first 2 albums, was and even actually Hex. There's I think 5 or 6 songs that are from demos.
Well, when you break it down, most of the songs you do live nowadays, in a sense, you consider, in your opinion, kind of the hits. How many of those would you say Jim wrote? Because, for example, a song like "Raid the Convent" is probably your hit, whether you like it or not.
Oh, I like
No, but I mean
song.
that's
Yeah.
sometimes bands are like, that's fine, but that's what the fans want to hear. I mean, did Jim write that song?
Jim wrote all the music and all the lyrics. The only thing I contributed really was the title. We were
Okay.
we were coming out of the studio, and Jim and I were just spitballing, and I said something like, I think I said "Raid the Convent," and Jim says, "Oh, that's a really good song for title for a song." And then when the song originally got written, everything was half as many measures, and he gave me the rehearsal of it, and went home and tried to write lyrics for it. I was like, I can't write lyrics for this because it's just too short. And so I went to practice, and I says, Jim, I says, just take this. I says, I got nothing. So I think it was the next practice he came in, and he says, we're gonna make everything, we're gonna double all the measures, make the song a little longer, and here's all the lyrics. And that was how that song came about. But I'd have to say probably uh, maybe 30% of the songs that we do, maybe even more, live, or that we actually know, Jim either wrote all the music or wrote almost all of the music. And like in the case of Raid the Convent, he did music and lyrics for that one.
Is that then? There's that his version of "Burn the Cross." Did he? What are the songs did he do lyrics for? Yeah, I was under the impression you did all the lyrics. I mean, I knew he did the "Burn the Cross" of his. I assume.
Yeah. So
other than that,
for the most part, like
Jesus is Doomed. Do you write those lyrics?
Yeah, he wrote that. Yeah.
Which is fucking. Dude, first time I heard that song, I was laughing my balls off.
Yeah, and there's another one on
Satanic.
Yeah,
Hell's
Satanic. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that one. He wrote that as well. That was kind of our little thing, like going to the studio. We're getting ready to finish, and Jim's like writes a song, a minute-long song, and then he put his finishing touches on it.
Yeah.
Well, with creating, you don't necessarily have to write all of the lyrics. Like Noah, the guitarist in Nunslaughter Now, he'll come to me with 4 or 5 lines, or 10 lines, and sometimes not even a title or a title, and say, here, if you can use these, and then it kind of like, that's how Rid is a Color Ripping Death. Jim said Rid is the Color Ripping Death, and I like that as a title, but I didn't really have any lyrics. Noah handed me a bunch of lyrics, and then I just expanded on the lyrics that he had, and that's how that song got written, or at least the lyrics got put together. So sometimes Jim and I'd write a line, and I'd hand him the piece of paper, and then the next rehearsal he'd come and he'd write a line, and he'd hand it back to me, and I'd write a line, and I don't recall what songs they are, but yeah, that was so it's a creative process. It's not like everything, but yeah, he contributed a lot.
What's your time frame at, camera lady? 35, goddamn, we're cutting it off here. Comments, questions, concerns, put them comment spots. Get an answer, brain morning. Later, goddamn it.